We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
This is your week 5 recap from Cactus Wrestling. So the biggest highlight, if you will, has got to be the dual meet between Pitt and the Ohio State. Mike, what were
Yeah.
you just saying like 5 seconds before we hit record?
Which Mike?
You.
He's talking about you because I don't say things that are important usually.
I mean, I was saying that like I wasn't that upset going into the match that I wasn't like I was like, oh crap, I don't have access to watch this. So and I was like, I mean, the way that Ohio State handled Virginia Tech, I was like, I don't think that Pitt's going to be able to, have a chance at winning this. Like Ohio State should win no problem. But boy, oh boy, was that the wrong thought process. Pitt surprised in a fantastical way.
Keith Gavin, man, he is making something out of that program.
That's true. I mean, even last year with Nino, I don't think anyone was like, "Yo, Nino's he's winning the title. Like he's got this. Like he's the guy." Like I think everyone was expecting Max Dean to go back to back.
Definitely, yeah. And lo and behold, Pittsburgh takes out Ohio State, something that Virginia Tech could not do earlier in the season, and it was at Ohio State.
Oh, that's even worse. That's like when Ohio State did to Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech's probably somewhere rubbing their hands together saying, ha ha ha, like revenge for the
place higher
ACC, ACC revenge, but how much does it change the standings?
Well, how funny is this? Because in our CKLV video, a certain Mike Long over here was saying that he would take Big Ten over ACC every day of the week, and look what just happened.
That's true.
Yeah, that is. But to be fair, they did beat Virginia Tech, but I don't know. Oh, I feel like Ohio State's wildly inconsistent for the last few years.
Yeah, I mean,
Longer
24-12 over Virginia Tech, and then they lose.
I mean, more than the last few years. I feel like Ohio State's last really good seasons were when Kyle Snyder was on the team, and it's been a while since that.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they won a national championship.
Yeah, and they were a top 3 program for a good stretch of time, and I feel like now, Ohio State's still very good. Obviously, they're one of the top teams in the nation, and anybody that goes there is going to be a great wrestler. But I feel like they've just slipped down in the Big Ten, further and further in the national rankings.
Well, I mean, them beating Virginia Tech, I was like, oh, they're a team to watch out for. And then losing to Pitt, I'm like, oh, maybe not.
Like, getting to see those 3 big wrestlers that they have, Feldman, Bouzakis, and Mendez, really be like, wow, like they're ready to go against Virginia Tech. And then we'll talk about what happened in the duel this time.
I mean, you mentioned Feldman. Feldman didn't wrestle, so.
Well, Feldman is hurt, so he got injured in his last match of CKLV, and is not back yet.
I mean, that could have played a bit of a factor, but I mean, it's still an 8-point spread, 21-3 in favor of Pitt. So I kind of doubt that Feldman would have. I mean, Swensky got majored.
Feldman would have needed a major over Dayton Pitzer to tie the match. I don't know.
That would have been a heck of a match.
And I don't know that he would have gotten a major over Pitzer. No, I don't think he would have gotten a major over Pitzer.
I think it would have been a decision, but man, that would have been a really good match of like 2 really, young, talented heavyweights.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that still Pitt would, I think, still win, even had Feldman been in and won against Pitzer in a decision.
So, by the way, you got to circle February 16th on your calendar. Virginia Tech versus Pitt at Pitt.
Ooh, yeah.
I hope Virginia Tech wins. I just think it'd be funny that whoever hosts loses.
Yeah, whoever hosts loses.
So we saw a lot of good matches in this duel, starting with Colton Camacho with the upset over Brendan McCrone. He really got after, got several takedowns early. That was kind of the theme. Like Pittsburgh was really coming in after it, and they were scoring with little time left on regulation. Like they were scoring with 5-10 seconds left in the period. They were winning the last 15 seconds.
That's great. Yeah, that's great mat awareness.
Yeah, it's big mat presence, high wrestling IQ, keep wrestling to the whistle.
And
Yeah.
and we saw Nick Bouzakis with a bounce back victory over Vince Santaniello. Remember, he lost to Santaniello. I think he got majored earlier in the
He
season.
did.
It was,
He
I
did.
think, like 14-4 or 12-3, or yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, so it's good to see that Bouzakis was able to make the adjustments. I think Santaniello, he definitely wrestled differently because the first time Santaniello kind of just did like slide bys, and he didn't get a single takedown against Bouzakis this time. So
Oh, it was 11-4, so almost a major.
Okay.
close enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, the biggest shock of probably the entire weekend was Cole Matthews over Jesse Mendez.
Yeah. That, I mean, especially with how dominant Mendez has been, especially at the CKLV, going to get that title. Like, if you traded Mendez out of CKLV and put Matthews in, I don't think Matthews would have won the tournament.
Especially not in the fashion that like Mendez had been wrestling up until that. Even in the finals, he looked dominant against Jack.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, he majored everyone except
Yeah.
Jack.
It was
So,
his first non-bonus point win of the season.
yeah, and he followed that up with a loss. So yeah,
Peaked.
not getting the bonus really actually bit him because it led to him losing. So
Well, Cole Matthews has never lost to Ryan Jack, so
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And Cole Matthews is All-American before, so it's not like he's just like some guy off the street that's, trying to make a name for himself. Like, he is a storied guy, but I mean, he did an All-American last year, but still, like, he is a high caliber guy. But I mean, you look at his record this year, he's 4-3.
well,
Not exactly what you'd expect for the guy,
Yeah, like,
well, here's the thing: if you score a takedown on Cole Matthews, you're winning the match.
oh yeah,
If you allow him to stick around and linger and let it be a 1 point match like this was, I mean, Matthews completely stole the match. He scored a takedown with 8 seconds left to go. Mendez was going to win 2-1 on riding time. It was 1-1, and then Cole Matthews got the takedown, and then Mendez got the riding time. And Mendez just didn't wrestle the last 10 seconds of the match. And that was it.
I mean, that's critical time to wrestle. Like, some guys try to coast there, and that's what costs them. And that's clearly what happened here. But I still can't get over that Matthews is only 4-3. He lost to Coderhant 5-3. He lost to Kai Miller of Maryland 12-4, and he lost in overtime to Danny Pacino of Illinois 6-3. Like, this doesn't add up that he was able to beat Mendez.
Well, he's just one of those stingy wrestlers who's incredibly tough to score on, and then he relies on his counter offense, which is what he did against Mendez. Allow him to stick around, he's dangerous.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know who that reminds me of from Iowa? Is a certain 141 who is known for his tight wrestling, doesn't lose in overtime typically. I think that, if Real Woods sees, Mr. Matthews at Nationals, it's going to be a really kind of barn burner match because they're both stingy, tough guys to score on. Pick their shots carefully, know how to take it down to the wire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, 141 just got a lot more interesting because Mendez was making a case for potential number one.
I mean, I still think Mendez will. Like, I feel like come postseason, Mendez runs into Matthews, he's not going to lose.
Listen, this
is a wake-up call.
Bartlett and Real Woods, and they're on an island. like we said in our preview at the beginning of the season.
That was what
I
Mike
agree.
said.
Cup still on an island.
Yeah, those are the only two relevant undefeated guys at that.
I still think Mendez has a case. Like, I'm looking forward to Mendez wrestling Bartlett or Woods.
Another pretty crazy match in this pit, Ohio State, was Dylan D'Amelio over Finn Solomon. D'Amelio stormed back. If Finn Solomon gave everything he had,
didn't he blow the match?
Well, yeah, he gassed, and D'Amelio was able to work his way back. So number 21 ranked Finn Solomon gets his conditioning up a little bit, who knows? He could be a force potentially at that
That's
weight class.
interesting.
But yeah, there's a lot of good matches. I mean, it kind of opened up from there. The Heller brothers, both
Formerly of Hofstra.
both majored their opponents. I mean, those guys are just really funky, really good scramblers. Very meticulous in how they approach. Luca Augustine looked pretty good against Carson Harkala. He got the first takedown, blast doubled him, and then Harza just proved to be a little bit too seasoned for Augustine, who, by the way, looked massive at that weight class.
Yeah.
And then Max Stout, the Stout brothers, the other brothers at Princeton, but Max Stout beats Luke Giag, and Dayton Pitzer rounds it out. So incredible win by Pittsburgh over Ohio State.
Yeah.
Hope they can keep this positive momentum going, though.
I mean, I don't see why not.
You mean?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
I mean, yeah, that was a solid win. Definitely over.
I mean, we'll see when they go against Virginia Tech later in the year, and when they'll go against NC State.
I mean, they did lose to they did lose to Navy.
Yeah, that's suspicious.
They lost to Navy, but they beat Lehigh and Maryland and Illinois and now Ohio State. Their next matches are Cornell, Ohio, Iowa State, and Little Rock.
Just really good at beating Big Ten schools.
Yeah. Well, and who is it? On the 18th, Ohio State is going to go against ACC legends, NC State.
Oh yeah.
Now you're gonna have all the top teams in the ACC are gonna have wrestled Ohio State.
Hopefully both full rosters make it into those lineups.
Yeah, tired of guys ducking. Check out the ducking video.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed.
Especially if you're a Penn State fan.
Yeah. We don't want to see any of that.
So, another big upset over the weekend was Stevo Pulin.
Oh yeah,
falling to number 25 Jet Strickenberger.
Strickenberger has been making some noise this season.
Has he?
Yeah, I thought he had another upset in week 1. Let's see. Oh, he beat Brandon Kaler in overtime. First match of the season.
Yeah, pretty good.
So he beat Kaler, and then everyone else he beat isn't really that. He lost to Conrad Hendrickson of Oklahoma, but then he beat Steve-O 11-6.
I feel like Tim Flynn's done a good job with that program over the years after leaving Edinboro. West Virginia has definitely produced some tough wrestlers. Peyton Hall was an All-American several years ago. Jordan Titus at 141 is undefeated. Yeah. He, I think, beat Cole Matthews last year, and that was his welcome party, I guess. And then Michael Wolfgram, I think.
At heavyweight?
Yeah, heavyweight. So they've definitely got bunch of frank guys on that roster.
Yeah.
How about Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State? Not really any major upsets here, but I gotta be honest. I'm surprised with Oklahoma State's dominance this year. I kind of thought they had fallen off, and I feel like they've got a lot of good rookies.
Over Oklahoma, I wasn't really that surprised.
Happy to see Braden Thompson wrestle.
Yeah, he majored number 18, Tate Pitlow.
He was a huge recruit out of high school. He was injured for a little bit. I think he went honestly 1-2 or 0-2 at CKLV, and I was like, oh, I guess he's still hurt. And then he's like, no, I'm fine. I just wrestled like crap.
Bad tournament, bad weekend.
Yeah, that happens. Guys that are new to college. So glad to see that he wrestled well and had a big win. But yeah, Jack's right. I kind of was like, oh, Oklahoma State, their best days are kind of behind them. I mean, there were people making rumors up that, they'd be having a whole new coaching staff this time, this time in the season, and that, they'd be kind of cleaning house and out with the old, in with the new, and
I
they're
mean,
not really
maybe
seeing that.
Coleman Scott's got some fresh blood to the program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Tegan Jameson at 141.
He's definitely been someone to watch, I think.
I mean, he went one and he split matches with Brock Hardy at CKLV, and he also beat Josh Coderhant and Vince Cornella.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's someone that's definitely up and coming.
Do you think that the way that Izzy Olenek has been wrestling this year, is he a title contender? Boo.
I think that look, I thought David Carr was going to be a lot tougher than he is. And he's beating guys that are really, he's beating high level guys by a lot, and he's losing to guys surprisingly, like more losses than I expected from him already this time of the year. I really think that Keegan O'Toole is just starting to run away with it because he's shown nothing but dominance.
Yeah, I don't see Olenek beating O'Toole.
But he could definitely be in the finals.
You don't think so?
Keegan's
Don't you miss the days when it was all Oklahoma State in the finals? All that orange in the finals.
Keegan's looking really good. The only person that could probably beat him is Messenbrink.
Is Messenbrink.
So
bringing it back to
Olenek wrestled Keegan O'Toole twice, both in 2021, and he lost both, but it was 6-2 and 5-1.
I think Keegan's jumped a lot.
Well, remember,
I think Olenek has jumped.
Oh yeah, for sure, he has for sure.
Well, I mean, last year Olenek lost to Hamady, and then he beat him at the freaking All-Star Classic.
Yeah, that's right.
Lost to him twice. Yeah. Once at NCAAs, and then beats him at the All-Star. Like something in that being at Oklahoma State is working pretty well for him because he's a really savvy wrestler, and he scores like when he needs to, but like it's very like strong mindset or something how he's scoring these points.
There's something in the.
He's already beaten Cam Amin, Julian Ramirez, and Dean Hamidi this year. And we've seen David Carr lose. He lost to Julian Ramirez.
I mean, it's still amazing that's the guy that Carr loses to, a guy that hasn't All-American yet.
Yeah, but Olenek was the first time All-American last year at 8. It took 8th. I
just think there's something in the water, in Stillwater, possibly in like Dayton Fix's father's water bottle in their fridge. You guys remember that story?
No.
Oh, would Dayton Fix was banned for violating for steroid use?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's like, they're like, what did you do? He goes, I drank my dad's water bottle that he left in the fridge, and it's like, oh, had steroids in it. And he's like, I had no idea.
Of course not, right?
So Dayton Fix was like monstrous as a 133, like hugely muscular, and his father, who's like one of the assistant coaches in Oklahoma State, it's like, what? How would we have known about this?
How would we have known?
I just remember that, and I was like, oh, little joke. But anyway, I think until proven otherwise, everyone's wrestling for second place against Keegan O'Toole.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even
especially with Carr having lost, yeah.
He really seems to be that guy. He's just looking really, really dominant.
Yeah, number one pound for pound?
No, because Carter Starachi is still so good.
Or Aaron Brooks?
Aaron Brooks would, but he's ducking Michael Beard.
Hey, you said it, not us this time.
Yeah.
We didn't even say it the first time.
Well, anyway, drop a comment down below. What do you think about this weekend? Some of the upsets. What do you think about 141? It's definitely interesting with Mendez losing. Who's the top guy? I think Bob Bartlett and Real Woods are definitely the top two. They're undefeated, but a guy like
Bartlett's going to get to see Mendez in a duel. So
yeah, he is. And Real Woods.
Oh no, I don't think Ohio State wrestles.
Well, and Ryan Jack will be against Mendez too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll see Ryan Jack versus Tegan Jameson, Oklahoma State.
Oh yeah, that'll be an interesting one. Yeah, because
Cole Matthews later in the season.
Cole Matthews will extend his streak over Ryan Jack.
So 141 is a bit of a mess. And then let us know what you think about Isaac Olenek of Oklahoma State.
Let's go, Izzy.
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 And then any other upsets that you watched or saw over the weekend, drop it in the comments down below.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.